Hey guys, and welcome back to Oil Ocean Zone in Sonic Mania. A very interesting pick. Divisive, to say the least. I'm fine it's here. I actually quite enjoy the gimmicks and all the remixing they've done for it. This blue rings thing is from Knuckles Chaotix, by the way. I've been meaning to mention it, but you know, we had to dedicate half a part to bitching about a desert level instead. So you know,
exactly. At
least we've got our priorities in order. Flame, what do you think of Oil Ocean Zone being in here? Because I don't know, like, it was either this or Mystic Cave, I think, they were going to use from Sonic 2.
I would have taken Mystic Cave over it, to be honest. Like, I am okay with Oil Ocean. It's never been a favourite of mine from Sonic 2, and it's never been a least favourite either. It's sort of middle of the road, but like, this particular version of it, I kind of get what they were going for, and I like the little additions that make use of the new stuff in Mania, like that little animation of, you know, the fire shield setting the oil on fire. That's cool.
Oh,
I
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And when we get to Act 2, the new gimmick, and that's a cool idea as well. I think the contention for this one comes from the fact that there's a bit of a difficulty spike with one of the bosses, and so I think a lot of people spent a lot more time here than they would have liked to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, the difficulty for Mania just spikes in general from this point on. It's still, I wouldn't say the hardest 2D Sonic. That for me has always been Sonic 2. Maybe that's just down to the level design, or, you know, the fact the final boss expects you to do it without being hit, and, you know, you don't have unlimited continues, etc. But, maybe I'm just a pleb who needs to get good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Rich? What do you think of Oil Ocean Zone thus far?
Well, I have to say, I'm looking at it and thinking, I'm not a fan that this is here, if only because we've already had Chemical Plant, and while I know that chemicals and oil are two very different things, I'm looking at this and thinking this is basically just a purple and green variant of Chemical Plant Zone, and considering all of the other levels in Mania so far have been very different in terms of their designs, I'm just finding this to be the one that I'm looking at and thinking, I feel like I've already seen this before. I know I haven't, but it's, yeah, I feel that they probably could have gone for a slightly different level trope. I don't know what that could have been, but I think anything probably would have been a slightly better pick than this, because, yeah, it just feels samey, even though it's completely not.
Oh my god, the United Nations is gonna fucking kill me.
Oh Christ. But yeah, like, I don't really see it as too similar to Chemical Plant. Like, I guess it's because, like, you know, Sonic 2 had the same levels, and I kind of got used to them being different. Like, I would say if I were gonna take out one of them, I would have took out Chemical Plant rather than this, and that's because we've seen Chemical Plant in fucking everything. Like, you know, it was in Gens, it's here, and it's again in Forces for some fucking reason. I don't know why.
I don't know, I really enjoy Mania's version of Chemical Plant, so I probably would subtract Oil Ocean, or maybe just mix up Mirage Saloon, but we're just quibbling hairs right now. Act 2, mix of Oil Ocean, and funnily enough, Sandopolis Zone. I don't know where they got the idea for that, but it's actually kind of ingenious, because both levels, I think it's safe to say, are fairly divisive. I know Helldragon loves Oil Ocean, but you know, Sandopolis has always been a point of contention. Like, as perfect as I find Sonic 3 and K, that's like the one level where I'm like, alright, I gotta do this now. You know, I'll bitch about it, but I'll put up with it and do it, you know?
See, I know what you're getting at. It is a similar sort of gimmick to Sandopolis, but I'd never really thought of it in the fact that this level is actually sort of fun. Whereas Sandopolis, like, I absolutely fucking despise Sandopolis. Like, that's probably like my least favourite classic Sonic level. It's just, you know, I just really don't like it. It's a complete pace killer, and it just sucks all the fun out of 3 and K for me. It's the sort of point where I'm bored of it at that point.
It's funny you say that when Iron Fortress exists, but we'll get to that. Little thing that I didn't actually notice at first, but the Act 2 theme for Oil Ocean does have a bit of, like, an Egyptian bent to it,
yes,
which is just obviously a major nod to the fact that they've combined it with Sandopolis. I think it's great, but I've kind of run out of stuff to say about this now. I mean, the gimmick where you have to keep purifying the air, like, before you start choking, is neat, and yes, you will eventually start to actually lose rings. Like, you won't start to drown, you'll physically start dropping rings, which is pretty cool. I don't know, I could go either way on like keeping or excluding Oil Ocean.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I think the better thing would have been either get rid of Chemical Plant or get rid of Oil Ocean. Just having the two in it does just seem a little bit excessive, to me anyway.
Yeah.
But then I also haven't seen the other final stages of Mania, so there may be other elements there that are also slightly repeated in other levels. But then that might also just be... I very much like having very distinct level tropes to have a play with.
Yeah.
So it could just be me being a bit of a nitpicker in that instance.
Yeah, I'm thinking though, like, you've said Mystic Cave, I'm not 100% sure if that would be the Sonic 2 pick I went for, because I'm the sort of person that when levels are remade like this, I kind of would prefer the levels that I didn't like at all to kind of get reimagined in ways that makes them better, and even just weaker levels, and I'll kind of lean towards, I'd be down with a Metropolis redo.
Ooh, yeah.
Because, like, granted there is a certain degree of bias there in that I would love to hear T-Lopes give a proper take on Metropolis Zone for an official game, but, you know.
Oh god. Oh, I think this is the submarine of pain right here, where it's me attempting to play Sonic as if it were Mega Man, and unfortunately it doesn't end very well, so
oh god.
Apologies in advance, I had to keep this in for multiple recording reasons.
Oh god, Tom.
Richie, you do not get to criticise me with some of your gameplay takes, mate.
Excuse me?
Yes.
We will never forget the fucking 3 minutes straight of you jumping around in a Kami doing fucking nothing. That's kind of fucked you over in your right to criticise others' gameplay, mate.
Well, to be fair, when I do these things, I keep them in to show off the pain of some of the jumps sometimes.
A crossfade would have done the job nicely.
Yeah, that's the biggest bullshit DSP tier-esque excuse I've ever heard. Whatever, here's the other divisive part of this level. The boss. I eventually found a strategy that works pretty well, and I was able to get through it sort of like painlessly, but I can see why people wouldn't really care for this boss the first time through until they found said strategy. Granted, it's much easier than the original version of the game, but at the same time there's a lot to deal with here, and maybe people aren't ready for that difficulty spike.
And I think this is the point where, for a lot of people, the fact that when you die and game over and have to reload a save, you start at Act 1 rather than Act 2 if you die here. And I know that concept has its defenders, cough Game Sharks, but, like, you know, it's like, I just would prefer to go back to the level I died at. It just, you know, keep the pace going. Like, I've already mastered Act 1 if I got to this point, so it's just like a game of repetition if I've got to redo it.
I can see why you'd want that, but at the same time I don't really care about your problems, and I think you just need to get good.
Tom, after that fucking submarine section.
Oh, whatever. I wasn't complaining about it, I completely owned up to it, so I don't really know where you're going with this.
I just like insulting you, it's fine.
That's fine, you can't back. We're all in the same boat here. All in the same Sonic-coloured boat that has holes in it. But by God, it was a hand-me-down from my granddad's and we love it so, and just can't buy a new one. That would just be too easy. Like, there's the Italian bloke selling the really well-made and put-together boat over there, and God bless him, he's selling a butt-ton of them. And it's even portable, but you just can't bring yourself to play... I mean, riding anything other than the boat that your granddad gave you, you know?
And there we successfully filled out the awkward part. Okay, Lava Reef.
I adore Lava Reef. I adored Flying Battery too. These are both levels that I wouldn't mind exchanging for an ice cap or something. Although I think out of the two, Flying Battery I would shove out of the game. Mostly just to get the fire and ice motif going on.
Yeah, like, I do like the first act of Lava Reef. Like, I'm thinking specifically in terms of like the 3K version, like, because it follows the same sort of visual motifs here. Like, Act 1 is lava, the second one's like sort of the crystal mine sort of thing. I think the Crystal Mine Act's like general look is a bit oppressive compared to this one, which is your typical like fire level.
I do like how they've made it open air essentially. Like we're not actually in the mines part of this level yet. Now we are, or will do if I can actually control this thing correctly. There we go.
Kind of obvious at this point that I am sort of a sucker for good fire levels,
yeah.
And it's just like a motif that it's like it looks really sweet, and that kind of gives you the good first impression into it. So you got going into the level with a good vibe as it is. I'm trying not to use the word cool because that would be incredibly contradictory, but you know what I mean.
Whatever, you can use words.
You like it because it's a hot property in the gaming levels.
See, I don't talk like that, so it's not really jarring.
I just had the thought in my head of Richie spending the day as Flame and Flame spending the day of Richie.
Oh god.
And I think I just had a bit of an internal panic attack at my mind trying to come to terms with that idea.
Yeah, I don't think that would ever take place.
Yeah, Richie, you better maintain the Twitter feed well, mate.
Oh, I think we're coming up on the final special stage here. Ooh, you're gonna like this. Aesthetic as fuck, mate.
This one that's actually kind of really fucking easy.
It is! Like, it's nowhere near the difficulty of 3 or 5. I was surprised. But I find it a lot of fun. And for some reason I get a Saturn vibe from this colour scheme. I don't know. Maybe that's just me struggling to find stuff to talk about.
Yeah, when all else fails bullshit, there's plenty of Sonic to pull from.
Hey.
I suppose, like, the bumper difficulty here, like, difficulty used loosely here, but the difference here between the early ones is that there's a lot of parts where you can just run off the edge if you're not paying attention. Like, because the early ones had them sort of, like, there you got the, like, borders on it, but for a lot of this level it doesn't. But, like, in fact, I think you're nearly at it, so...
Yeah, if anything, not having borders makes this easier, because you don't run into that awkward thing of the invisible, like, wall blocking you from jumping across, because there's, like, bumpers on the borders and whatnot. I can't believe we waited until we got the last emerald to mention this, but blue spheres ups your speed and whatnot, and you can go to Mach 3, and then it's extra. I don't know what the fuck extra does, but it doesn't matter, because Sonic got all Chaos Emeralds.
Woo!
Well done, bravo.
Time to break the rest of the game now.
If you're wondering, no, there is no set of Super Emeralds. They're actually all grey and cracked in Knuckles' version of the game, which, if you follow the law, like I do, I'm a genius. Oh yes. That implies that we kind of overuse their power in 3 and K, so good job, Fuckazoid, we could never go Hypersonic again.
I mean, is that really that bad of a thing, given how fucking broken Hypersonic is?
Yes, but also you seem to forget that just because they're currently broken and cracked doesn't mean that at some point in the future they cannot be restored. I mean, after all, there's been at least one occasion of the Chaos Emeralds being grey, not necessarily cracked, but grey and powerless, and we were able to fix that one, so who knows, maybe in Sonic Mania 2.
Plus the Master Emeralds that Knuckles breaks every fucking time.
Oh yeah, it's like it was made from like an IKEA set or something.
Pretty much,
all the small parts fit perfectly together, there's no like empty chips or anything. But anyway, enough bashing Knuckles, because he is actually pretty based in forces. Supersonic, originally, you could not turn this on with a button. It was the typical, jump and then jump again thing, and a little bit annoying, but they added the button press in a patch. There you go. I don't know why I forgot that word. I love this scenery here. It's pretty gorgeous.
What do you think of the Supersonic theme?
It's good. Sounds heroic.
I like it, but it suffers from the problem, like, just... my contention with Supersonic themes has always been that I would kind of like to hear some of the level theme.
Oh yeah.
But it's like the song itself is okay, so I'm kind of torn in that respect.
I think what they should do is just make like... This is what I wanted them to do for Unleashed with the night levels. Just make like a slightly rejigged version of the current level's theme, but put like, I don't know, a bit more bass into it, make it a little bit faster, so you get the hyped up version of that theme as Supersonic.
That'd be cool, but at that point we're probably overworking T-Lopes.
True. Well, just pay him overtime. You should be giving him money. Literally give T-Lopes money.
This boss is kind of weird. It took me a little while to realise that you meant to bait him to kind of fire lava at himself for the first few phases.
Yeah. What was the mini-boss in the original game again? Was it just the hand?
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've beat 3K.
Doesn't really speak well of that mini-boss then. This one's fine. I like the idea behind it. I like the new beefier design for the egg drill. It's just pretty cool in general, and I can say that because all the lava has now cooled.
But we still have the fire shield, so fuck you, you're wrong.
Well, what can I say? I'm hot like that. Alright, you ready to get smooth? You ready to get jazzy? Oh yes, T-Lopes has got what you need, because this is what you need. What you need.
No, this is Lava Reef Act 2.
Well, thanks for fucking... You know what, whatever. Quartz Quadrant references. These exploding guys are back and as adorably suicidal as ever. That's it, I'm done. You can talk about the rest yourself.
Alright, well, like, this is a better version of Lava Reef Act 2 than the 3 and K one. Like, I always found the 3 and K one to be incredibly slow. Like, there was a lot of blocky stuff, stand around and that, and I'm not a fan of that. At least here, kind of, is like a few more sections where you get to go fast. I like the fact that there's these sort of on-the-fly palette changes as well. You get to see some more greens, and you get, like, maybe the purples get a bit enhanced in certain parts too, and that's really cool.
Yep.
And, like, aesthetically, I love this. It's just, you know, it's not as fun to me as Act 1 was.
I get you. I just love the guitar in the background. I also love how there's more of a factory motif going on in the background. Why, Tom? You know what? I think it's time for Supersonic. I've just had enough. Eggman puts his pirate TVs here, I consume his image, and I get hurt. There's not a lot to complain about with Lava Reef. Like, I have problems with the Act 2 boss, but that's mostly just me not being able to time things correctly. And also it is a very charming reference to, like, a dearly departed member of the Sonic fan community, so it's doubly awesome. Like, yeah, I think if I had to pick, like, 3K stages to get rid of for another one, it would be Flying Battery. I love your Flying Battery, you are bae, but Lava Reef just excites me more when it comes to Mania.
I'm also with 3 and K, I'm not sure what other level I'd pick entirely. Because there's a lot in 3 and K that I just sort of meh to me, so, like, I guess they picked the ones that sort of stand out as most, like, you know, visually impressive, but I don't know, take the ones here or leave them.
I'd go with Ice Cap, just for the novelty of having a nice level that early in the game. That'd be cool.
See, the thing is, if they were going to bring back Ice Cap in something, I would have more rather brought back Ice Cap in, like, either gens or maybe even Forces, because I think that what they could have done with that is have, like, the classic variant be based on the 3 and K one, and the modern variant be based on the adventure one.
Oh, I love that idea.
Because that way you'd kind of have a bit of both, and it, like, you know, keep it completely fresh.
Yeah, but also, you know, you could, in Forces, if we're taking Forces as Forces is, you could have gone it in the path of Classic Sonic has the classic Ice Cap, Modern Sonic has the, well, Modern Sonic has something that's more akin to Holoska, and then the Avatar has the Adventure-style Ice Cap. And I think that would have been quite cool.
No, what I would have done with that is, you know, the double boost sections where Fistfump's playing, have that but with the Avatar and Sonic just running away from, you know, the avalanche.
Oh,
yeah. Be lit.
Oh, and with, like, a fucking remix of Be Cool, Be Wild, Be Groovy. Oh my god.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Can we play that game instead of doing Forces? Can we literally hire a dev team to make it in 2D? I love that little touch in the background, by the way. The Death Egg's not there anymore, so it's just a crater, like, in the top of the Lava Reef itself. Alright, here we go. Heavy Rider or something. He rides a motorbug named Jim or something, and that is a reference to a very beloved member of the Sonic fan community. That's from a certain Sonic thing as well. That, yay! It's not just like a cute little reference.
That sounds like one of the samples from Palm Tree Panic. I'm not sure if it is, but it sounds like it.
Oh, he lives to motorbog up another day. He will keep the memory alive. Alright guys, I think we're done here, so please join us next time for the final part of Mania, where we'll be giving our closing thoughts and whatnot, and how we feel about the game. See you then.